Hello, glider pilots. This is Jeff, and I am coming back to you with part two of the three-part series of Secrets to Solo. These are tips and tricks that I use with my students to get them to solo faster and to do it better. Tip number two is to memorize your checklists. Okay, in gliding, we only have two checklists really that you have to learn. Okay, it's before takeoff and before landing checklists. That's it. It's actually pretty easy. And one of those, actually, before takeoff, the glider's not moving, so you don't have to memorize it. But it's a good idea to do it anyway as you go along. It really comes important when you're getting ready to solo to make sure you have your before landing checklist absolutely memorized. Okay, your before takeoff checklists. There are two common ones that that are used out there. At my club, at Tucson Soaring Club, we've used them both over the years, either CB, SIT, CBE, or A, BB, CCC, DE. And it's 1A, 2 Bs, 3 Cs. That's how you remember it. 1A, 2 Bs, 3 Cs, DE. Okay? But they cover the same things, okay? CB, SIT, CBE. Controls. And when you're practicing these and memorizing them, physically do the actions that you would actually do in the glider. Okay, pretend, just like chair flying, pretend you're doing these controls. Okay, free and correct. Okay, ballast, check that if it's installed if you need it, or if you don't need it, that it's not installed. Straps, are you strapped in? Instruments, set the instruments for field elevation. Make sure that your radios are turned on. Trim, set for takeoff. Canopy down and locked, and physically check where you would check normally above your head or whatnot, however you do that. Okay, brakes, that's your air brakes, and then E for emergency. And then same thing with A, BB, CCC, DE. Airspeed, make sure your instruments are checked. Ballast, brakes, canopy again, controls, cable, get that hooked up. D for direction of wind. Okay, note what it is. If you can see you should be able to see the windsock from where you're taking off. And then E, go through your emergency procedure. Okay. And then your before landing checklist. This one's pretty universal. Use stall. Okay, undercarriage. Call it out. Down and locked. Speed, which means your airspeed. Set pitch for the airspeed you want. Trim. Set the trim now for the airspeed that you just set. Air brakes, okay? Pull it usually with your left hand, pull it open, check to make sure they open on both directions, close it, okay, and check to make sure that it closes on both sides. Look at the rest of the pattern, look ahead of you, and look at also the wind direction to wherever the windsock is when you're in the pattern, and then finally land. Why do we have to have these checklists memorized, okay? What you've been doing as you've been getting ready to solo, you've been practicing free flight, okay? You're spending most of your attention actually flying the glider. And if you haven't had it happen yet, it will happen. You'll get on the 45, or you'll get in the downwind as you're getting ready to land, and your mind will just go blank. You're using all of your focus, okay, to make sure that you can actually fly the glider, when what you need to do is we need to get to the point where flying the glider is actually kind of a background task, okay? And we can be thinking through our checklist. And when you first start flying the glider is not a background task. It is the main task you're thinking, and we need to turn that into a background task so that way the checklist can be the main item that we're thinking through. And so I like to be able to just memorize this, and I like to be able to just say it to myself, okay? And I should be able to say it to myself anywhere I go, okay? And whether I'm out and about or whatnot, or if I'm in the car, I should be able to just say, use stall, undercarriage, speed, trim, air brakes, look, land, boom, okay? And I should know where I'm looking for each one of those, okay? If I can do that, then I know that I'm going to be able to be set up. Because what happens is, I see a lot of students, they'll get into the downwind, particularly on a pattern tow, and maybe they start the pattern maybe midfield downwind, And as they go along, they're saying a lot. So they say undercarriage, and they have to think about it. Down and locked. And then they'll think speed. 55, and then they'll take time to set it. Then they'll say trim, and they'll look down at the trim knob, and they'll start adjusting it back and forth. Okay. Air brakes, then they've got to look for it again. They've got to look for it and find and grab the actual handle and look at, and then look and land. And by the time they're done with that, they have sailed completely past the runway. Okay. And now their nice rectangular landing pattern isn't rectangular at all. Now they've sailed past the airport, past the glider field, and now they have to make up. Whereas if you have it memorized, okay, truly memorized, where the flying is a background task and you're just worried about banging out the points of the checklist, then you can have it done very quickly, and you can be making small adjustments throughout the rest of your landing pattern. And it's always important to have this checklist memorized, but the time when it becomes super important is during pattern toes, because from takeoff to landing, it can be just 2 to 3 minutes. And it can go by super fast. So you need to have these items memorized. When my students are having problems, or even just other club members, when I'm seeing them struggling with properly getting ready to and soloing, I tell them, do you have your before landing checklist memorized? Before takeoff is okay, but you're not moving, so you have time to do your before takeoff checklist. Do you have your before landing checklist memorized? And they'll always say, no, not really, kinda, sometimes. It's really slow in the air. Yeah, you need to get that time back. And the way you do it is to memorize the checklist so you can just do it quickly. So memorize your before landing checklist, and you will solo faster, and you will be more proficient in the air when you do it. So that's the tip I wanted to share today. If you have any other questions on things that you can do to solo faster, go ahead and share them in the comments down below so we can all learn how to be better glider pilots. And leave a like and subscribe. Thanks.